So the other day I happened to be on a Toys R Us run to see what was available, and I came across the Hobbit stuff. Yes. Now they had most of the 4-inch figures and only one of the 6-inch figures. So I decided to go a little bit crazy, and I started picking up the 4-inch figures, or 4-inch scale figures, because there is a lot of variety between the sizes of the figures in this line. Of course, I decided to start out this thing with the 2-pack of Bilbo Baggins and Gollum. It's really, for me, a head-scratcher as to how some of these are available. Most of the single-carded figures are available in 2-packs. Now, the 2-packs cost at Toys R Us, they cost about $15, $15, and I think they're a little bit less in some other places like Target and Walmart. But the regular single-carded figures were $9.99, $10. And so, if you were to buy Bilbo and Gollum separately, which I believe they are both available separately, it would cost you $20 as opposed to the $15 2-pack, which is a no-brainer. Pick up the 2-pack. Now, there are figures that are available in 2-packs that are not available singly, alone. There are figures in the larger sets, particularly Thorin and Gandalf, that are not available on the 2-packs. So you will have to buy either the more expensive sets or go for the single-carded figures. So let's start off with Bilbo and Gollum here. And as you can see, the back of the package here has a little write-up, well, not so little write-up for both of them, actually pretty detailed. You can see other figures that are available, and you can see photographs of the prototypes. Now you can tell that they're the prototypes because if you look at the Gollum figure there in the picture, you can see that it's not quite the way the arms and legs are posed. It's not quite the same. So let's take a look at the Gollum figure. And, you know, I do think these are really done well for a company that is not really done action figures before. And I think these, paint-wise and sculpt-wise, are just about the same level as Hasbro. Hasbro is sort of the expert on this size scale, and should be what, at their best figures, should be what all the other toy lines in that scale aspire to be. And the Bridge Direct does a very good job of approaching that level in detail with both paint and sculpt. As you can see here, you got some pretty neat paint details on his head. You can see his hair is painted on there. Very nice paint detail on the skin with splotches of sort of the liver spots, I guess you would call them. And really do like the eyes and the face here, both, and the ears and the sculpting, very nicely detailed. Now for articulation, they are still a little bit kind of behind on articulation. The head does go left and right, up and down some, as well as side to side some, but it's negligible. Arms do go all the way around, out to the side, and that's it, at least on Gollum. He's a pretty spindly, thin character, so I guess they were a little bit worried about articulation points breaking off. But he does have a nice upper torso articulation, forward and back, left and right, and a little bit side to side as well. His legs rotate around and go in and out. And they don't really move, they don't really go forward so much as rotate, unfortunately. And his rest of the leg is molded into position, which unfortunately does kind of make him a little bit hard to stand in some poses. But as you can see, he does stand pretty good if you get him in the right, just the right positioning. So Gollum is the smallest of all the figures, as you would probably expect him to be. Not quite as small as the Bilbo figure. Now the sculpt is pretty good, and the paint here, you can see he's got hair painted onto his feet. Not too much shading on this figure as there was on Gollum. The actor likeness, you can't really tell, I don't think. Yeah, it does kind of look like Martin Freeman, but not too, you know, not too accurate. He does have these two bags, accessories, that you can toss over his arms and shoulder, head and shoulder. It looks like he's carrying a couple of jugs of water, and on the other side is his duffel of stuff for traveling. Very nicely detailed. And he does have a scabbard and the sword or dagger as Sting, which is detailed as well. You can see the it's not, since it's so small, it's hard to get really good detail, but you can still see like the elven workmanship in the blade there. And he holds the Sting sword very well. Now he does have pretty good articulation. The head, you can move up and down some, left and right of course, and a little bit side to side, not too much. The arms do go all the way around. They are kind of stuck out at a you know, angle. They're not going to lie flat against his side, unfortunately, but they do go out and in. He does bend and rotate at the elbow, as well as rotate at the wrists. He does have waist articulation, and as you can see, his shirt here is kind of just pegged in underneath there, so you might lose that in posing him. but you can just sort of peg it back in there. There, he does have a little scarf thing that does kind of hinder his head articulation a little bit. I can probably pop the head off and remove that if you wanted to, and you would get just a little bit more head articulation. But in order to complete the whole look of the character, you probably want to keep that there. His legs, they don't so much move forward as rotate and then go in and out, but that does work nicely. His knees bend and rotate, and that's it. I wish they... another thing that I wish they would have for these figures is none of them have holes in their feet for peg holes. I mean, even if they didn't come with bases, you could find generic stands that would help them stand up, because although most of them will stand on their own, there are some that are giving me a hard time staying where I put them, and unfortunately that can't really be helped, like I said. So we can, for his traveling adventure look here, we can put on his luggage and stuff back on him, and give him Sting, and he's ready to have an adventure. And here's Gollum, in order who's going to give him some riddles in the dark. With that said, stay tuned for more of these Hobbit 4-inch scale figure reviews, and until my next one, I'll see you.